maintaining expectation, I think, with young people, because I think in one way you're trying to kind of say, you know, reach for the skies and kind of empower them to be able to kind of reach these amazing goals, but at the same time you still have to manage your expectations, because if they don't achieve their goals, and if they say, oh, we want to, like, you know, make 10,000 people pledge this, you know, is that realistic? And at the end of the day, if they don't achieve it, is that going to be something that like really disappoints them and then they don't go on? There's a lot of that managing expectation, which is a bit tricky with young people. The opportunities have to really kind of fit and tailor for them to really be able to engage in them sometimes, whereas the same opportunity for someone who's maybe older, who has a more stable kind of lifestyle and pattern to their life, it's easier for them maybe to fit in with doing something. But for young people, the opportunity's got to really fit for them to be able to develop into leaders or develop into a project.
Yeah. On the handout, there's a few other sort of practical ideas that we had, which were letting young people choose the topic that they're focusing on, rather than saying to them, like, you're going to run a fair trade project, okay, how do you want to do it? And involving them in all aspects of planning, letting them, if they're going to do a survey, letting them design the survey, if they're going to evaluate their project, letting them be part of designing the evaluation as well. And part of managing expectations is breaking it down into really achievable things, because often young people's ideas are huge. We had, like, let's get Usain Bolt to come visit the school and tell everyone about saving energy. It's like, it's a brilliant idea, but it's never going to happen. And so ways that we can, like, break this down into big things that they can try and achieve, like that maybe involve celebrities or whatever, but also things that they can achieve within, like, the timescale that you're going to be working with them, or the timescale of your project. At Bishop Challoner School that we were working with for the last 2 academic years, and this is an eco club who decided that they wanted to run a fair trade project. And they decided this in the lead up to the Fair Trade Fortnight. And over the course of the time we were working with them, they started to learn to manage each other's own ideas as well, and they realised what was achievable and what they could actually plan and achieve. And they were all, as is often the way, they were volunteering their lunchtimes, and the students who volunteer their lunchtimes are often volunteering their lunchtimes at everything. So they didn't have a lot of time either. It's the same as adults who are involved in community groups, tend to be involved in other community groups. So these were really keen young people who were also quite pushed. We made a bunch of flyers, loads of different ones about fair trade, and this is a bit. And then we visited local businesses one lunchtime. So this is a picture of some of them out at the local market, and they visited businesses and flyered them and asked them to stop more fair trade. And they had a petition that they put together from the school saying, like, the students and the staff at Bishop Challoner want you to stop more fair trade. One of the things they'd done at the beginning was to do a survey of their peers and of staff at the school to find out what people's approaches to fair trade were, if they bought it, if they even knew what it was, and their attitudes. And they found that not everyone was very clear on what fair trade was, but also the things that were really preventing people from buying it were, like, the cost of feeling pushed by that extra cost, or it not being available readily and not knowing where they could find it. So that was one of the reasons that they chose to go and speak to local businesses, because they thought availability was one of the problems. This is the young people evaluating their project at the end. Well, this was actually halfway through because something came back the following year. And they were mentoring a group of students in the year below to try and engage more people in the school in this project and to develop mentorship skills themselves. This is the young year eating fair trade biscuits, which is, like, the easiest way to get people involved in fair trade, I think. And they gave them certificates and fair trade chocolate bars at the end of the second project. And so the girls who started the project and developed the mentoring skills then entered for the Sheila McKechnie Shout Out Award for Young Campaigners. And they were shortlisted, and this was in September. They went to the award ceremony and they got to meet Jon Snow. They didn't know who he was, but they were still very excited.
It's the whole thing of, like, you know, save energy or this kind of thing. Like, it's easier to say or save money because it's more of a motivator. So it's kind of like it's the slightly opposite way around. That if you do something that's bad for something, there's a negative impact rather than saying there's a positive.
People to go in and say, hey, I've done this, rather than here's a reason, this is the rational thing to do, then make it fun for kids, then get them to do it, and get to say that we do it ourselves. So that's why we're kind of asking to come up with some more examples from real life, just to give it a bit more context.